That's a running world record, and he takes.
What is your
Mhm.
go-to thing for recovery, really?
So I'm pretty big on just like trying to be smart with it, like not trying to push it too much and taking it easy and being confident that, you can take a few days off here and there and you'll still be just as good and it won't matter. And also kind of being aware of the fact that maybe if you take a few days off earlier, then it'll help it get better rather than trying to run through it and make it into something that's a lot worse, which is unfortunately what happens a lot of the time. And that I think I'm decent at that. I think having like a good coach and stuff to give you that perspective helps a ton. That's what has helped me a ton with that because I'm not always great at doing that stuff correctly. And then it just comes down to like, yeah, you make a new plan, you adjust, and then you just go and do it. And then also kind of like taking a step back sometimes I think helps a lot. Like when you're training hard, you can get really like zoned in um, on like having to do every run like perfectly, and then injuries kind of just shake that rhythm up. And that can be tough initially, but then also sometimes it's good just to kind of step away and not be too focused on running for a little bit. Because it's hard to always be that focused on running. Like it's easy when things are going well, but when things aren't going well, that's the time I think, which is just really helpful to have like, maybe some friends or some interests outside of running that you just turn to and yeah, just take a bit of time away from it. That helps me a bit as well.
Yeah, just I guess like just to take your mind off of like obviously
Yeah.
running, because
Yeah, totally.
I always find like I get obsessed like with Strava and like
Mhm.
making sure that I meet what I've planned to meet that week, and obviously
Totally.
sometimes like it's just hard, especially when you have your friends like looking at your Strava, like you just really want to hit those goals that you've said that you're going to hit. Like you said, it's getting it in your head that you can step away and just come back like with you, just come back extremely like so much stronger and
Mhm.
like better. Before your races, do you have any like pre-race rituals at all?
It's weird you ask this because I just like am relearning this stuff because honestly I felt like I didn't really race properly in so long through 2020 and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
had some races, but I didn't take them super seriously and now I feel like I'm back kind of getting into that mindset. So I'm honestly like relearning kind of like my race day schedule and stuff a bit. But pretty much I like to be pretty organized on race day, like the day before, like write out my day and have everything planned out as well as I can. Um, like not super crazy, but just kind of like a nice outline so that I don't need to like worry or think about what I'm going to be doing at a certain time, like when I'm going to shake out or when I'm going to eat a meal, just that kind of basic, more important stuff. I like to already have written out so I don't need to worry about it. And then on race day, the only things like I like to be pretty relaxed, and the only things that I kind of always tend to do is like I have a shakeout, I have a nice shower, and then I normally like will watch some like race videos or something to kind of get me like a bit hyped and a bit more in the zone, I guess. But apart from that, like I tend to try keep it relaxed and like just like chat with people or just like relax, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. You were quite far at the back in the prickly pear 3K race, and then out of nowhere,
Mhm.
your kick is like amazing. Is that is that your tactic? Do you like to kind of take it easy for the start of the race and then kind of work your way up through the pack?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't that happy with how I raced the prickly pear. I think I was way too far back, and that didn't really work out for me. But my tactics are generally to put myself in like a good spot and then stay like switched on, but as relaxed as I can be for as long as possible. In like a 5K, for example, I'm trying to stay as like relaxed as I can through like the first 3K, and then for the last 2K, really switching on and knowing that like that fourth K is when it's probably going to really hurt the most. And that's when you need to be paying full attention to like the front of the race and what's happening. And then that fifth K is really when the racing is on, when I can get in that zone and I'm like relaxed, but I'm just racing. Um, Things just feel way better, like you don't have to think as much. And it's just, that's how all my best races have been, just like finding that spot where I can just like, it just feels like I'm racing. If I'm thinking too much when I'm racing, it's normally not the best sign. So yeah.
Most recently, you raced in New York. How would you say like that race went for you? You ended up finishing third, which is like sorry, like a medal position. So, did you
Yeah.
did you think it was successful? Like,
Yeah, that was successful for me because um, I did want to win that race. Like with the like, I just want to win a lot of races. You know, that's how it is
Yeah.
as a runner. But I think I like executed a race plan really well, pretty much. Like I put myself up there near the front and I just like relaxed and I felt really good racing, to be honest. I felt great. And then with 450 to go, I made a move to the front and I was actually leading for a bit with like 400 to go. And so on a different day, when I had a bit of a stronger kick, I think I would have been able to win it. But on the last 200, I got kicked by a couple of guys. But um, I'm so happy with how I raced it because I really felt like I got the most out of myself on the day. And obviously, there's nothing more you can ask for in terms of
Mm.
like, I guess I just got to do a bit more work. You know, coming up to the pro level is a big jump, and I still have a lot of work to do to just keep getting better and better to be a bit more competitive and winning those races, I guess. But um, yeah, with in terms of how I raced it, I was really pleased. You know, in college, it goes through every year. Like every year, someone's going to win NCAA's, and there's going to be some good competition for them. And then those are the guys that make it to the pro level. You know, so then once you get to the pro level, literally everyone there has done those things which you did previously, and they were like pretty sweet when you did them. But now everyone's done them, or they're even better than that. You know, so the level, the standard is just so high. It's the pinnacle. You know, everyone is just training so hard and putting everything into it. You know, honestly, it's similar to like a high school to college jump in a lot of ways as well, because some people make that transition straight away and as freshmen, like they're really competitive, and some people take a bit longer. You see that in the pro level as well. So, you know, it's not that different to that jump really, but it is just, man, people, it's very competitive, and there's not a lot of people making it. You know, everyone wants to be trying to win those medals and stuff, and there's only three to go out every year, so it's very competitive. But yeah, I'm hoping that over the next few years, I can kind of like keep progressing and keep getting better and be a competitive pro runner.
Going back to the biggest topic of last year, coronavirus. How how did you find like racing? You mentioned earlier that you kind of perhaps didn't take it as seriously as you wanted, and
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but especially in England at the moment, we're actually still in full national lockdown. Um,
Mhm.
how did you find last year, kind of working
Yeah,
through it, really?
when I was dealing with injuries at the start of 2020. So I felt like I was really like had a lot of pressure on myself to kind of turn that around and qualify for the Olympics and all that, because things were just not going that great for me, to be honest. Like from the end of 2019 through the start of COVID, everything happened, and I had all this extra time, which was kind of actually like a bit of a weight off my shoulders, to be honest. And so with that extra time, I made a few changes. That's when I swapped to my current training group and I like moved out to Boulder and stuff, which was really cool. And then yeah, I just like training wise, I just had a very slow, gradual increase throughout the year from those early injuries. And so for that reason, I wasn't like super, super sharp, super tip top shape like when it came to racing. But I was okay with that because I knew um, like we had a bigger plan leading into this year and the Olympics this year. And so I felt really confident that, that was the best plan and that we were on the right path for leading into this year. So really, I just like kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the new setup and I enjoyed training hard. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how we ended up managing it.
Yeah. I saw that you set your goals pretty high for yourself in one of your YouTube videos. I think you said you want to, was it break 13 minutes in the 5K and also come fifth in
Yeah.
the Olympics? How are you kind of wanting to like execute this plan? What are you doing at the moment that's kind of um, that you feel like perhaps a step up from last year or like a continuation?
Mhm. Yeah. So I definitely like set those goals high so that I have something to like think about when I want to use it as motivation or whatever. But they're definitely not kind of what actually drives me every day. Like what drives me more is that kind of continual process of like getting better and improving, like year to year, just making sure I'm like trending in the right direction. And I think kind of with that mindset is can be like the best way for me to achieve those goals. So, for example, I knew that I had to take some big jumps up from like how good I'd been previously, and so we kind of like bumped the training up like in terms of volume and even like intensity going into this year. And I knew like if I was able to do that training well and do it consistently, that like I was going to be better and better. And I mean, will it make me definitely break 13? Like no, because there's so much other stuff going on, but
Yeah.
it's going to put me in the best spot possible to do it, I think. So that's kind of more like how I think about it, but I definitely do have those goals, and those are the things that I want to achieve for sure.
Yeah, so I find one thing that I've recently been struggling with, like with the extra training load myself, is kind of like nutrition and kind of keeping on top of like what I'm eating to make sure that I stay in shape and stuff. And I've seen that you're an advocate for chicken. Uh, like I saw,
Yeah.
I saw that
Chicken boy mugs.
yeah, Chicken Boy Morgs, and also like you did a review of Popeyes or Chick-fil-A
Oh
chicken.
yeah, I
Uh,
did.
do you have a favorite chicken dish? That is the real question here.
Um, I mean, if nothing mattered, I would just eat fried chicken a lot. I like fried chicken a lot.
Yeah,
But the reality is, and like probably my favorite is probably like popcorn chicken. Do you guys have popcorn chicken at like KFC?
yeah.
Yeah,
We have KFC, but we don't have all these other like fried chicken places like you have.
yeah. So in Australia, like we just have KFC, and like the popcorn chicken there was so good. And we have some other like um actually you guys have them in England more, like the Portuguese chicken shops and all
Oh,
that type of stuff.
Nando's.
Yeah, like Nando's,
Yeah.
man, like that stuff is, ooh, that's so good. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist in the US, but
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
annoying.
all that type of chicken I love. But yeah, the diet is I mean, I actually have a pretty good diet, even though like what I put on the videos is normally like the less good stuff. I have a pretty solid diet, but honestly, it is probably one of the toughest things when you are training as hard as I'm training at the moment, which is 90 to 100 miles a week with some hard sessions and some like gym sessions as well. It's like just getting in enough food, like the volume of food, like the volume of carbs and protein that you kind of that like my body has to get in is just sometimes it's just like exhausting to like keep making different meals and eating and stuff. So that is a challenge for me as well. But um, to be honest, like I just try to eat like stuff that I enjoy, and luckily a lot of the stuff that I enjoy is pretty healthy. So it's not the worst thing, but it is like eating like 4 or 5 meals a day, and just like a lot, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you also take like supplements like protein shakes and stuff like that as well?
I do like some collagen stuff sometimes, and like in my smoothies I'll put like some protein powder sometimes, but I'm not huge on like supplements, to be honest. So I don't do it a ton, but I do it sometimes.
Okay, guys, if you enjoyed that video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. See you next week.